All right, so let's say that you got a collection, you got no place for it, or you just need a man cave, or if you're a girl, you need a she shed, but you don't have power, it's not built out or anything like that. This build will work for a shed, a shipping container, or whatever. I'm going to do like a little bit of a step-by-step. I'm not going to show you how to do the wiring and everything. I'm going to show you the basics for you can turn a shipping container or a shed into your version of a man cave. Let's say you do something really embarrassing, like collect action figures, and you don't want to put your collection in the house for when your friends and family come over, they see that you're a nerd. So you want to put it in something like this to kind of hide it from everybody else. Well, you're in luck, because this is the video for you, and I'm gonna walk you through it. Okay, so your first step is to get a shipping container or a shed or whatever you want to convert into your little private space, man cave, she shed, whatever. I live in Florida, so if you're closer to a port, shipping containers are usually fairly affordable. These are 40-foot high cubes. I definitely highly recommend you get the high cube. If you get the 8-footer, the ceiling is going to be way too low by the time you build it out. I got 2 of them. I'm going to turn this one into my man cave, and I'm going to turn this one into a casita, a guest house, whatever. So you got to get power, water, sewer, whatever you're doing. This one, I'm only going to need power. I've already ran it underground from the house. I just used wire and conduit. If you don't know how to do your electrical, don't be intimidated by it. It's not that difficult. It's basically black to black, white to white, ground to ground. I'll give you a little bit. There's tons of videos on here. I'm not an electrician, but I am YouTube qualified for electrical, plumbing, build out anything. Whatever you don't know, you can learn on YouTube somewhere. So the wires come from here, go up to here. I've already ran these out. I got the wires and conduit. So I got an exterior plug here. I got my 30 amp single pole wire down here, and that goes in, and that's going to attach to my mini split on the other side of the building. And then on the other side here, I ran another exterior plug. So on this, I just did 3 wires. I did 2 120s and then another 120 on a 30 amp single pole. I'll show you that in a second for the AC. So I got 1 wire that comes up, and it powers both my exterior plugs and 1 interior plug. When you do this, you can run about 12 plugs off of 1 wire. So if you come down here, you got another plug here, and then this other wire goes into the container. So when you get your containers dropped off, you got to get like a 6x6 post or beam and set them on that, and then you got to put them on footings. You can't leave this thing on the ground. It'll just rust really bad if it's sitting in the grass or gravel or whatever it is. So get them up off the ground. Wind's catching the door a little bit. And then here's the inside of it. Let me get up here. So when you build out a shipping container, there's a lot of different ways to do it. Some people will do like 2x4 walls in here for you don't have to drill into the metal. If you're gonna do 2x4 walls, you may as well just build a shed or something, because you're basically building it anyways. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna attach all my finishes to the metal. I'm gonna screw right through it. So yes, it will puncture a hole through it, but I'm gonna seal it. And then when I'm done, I'm gonna wrap the whole outside in wood for it doesn't look like a shipping container after all. But I ran 1 wire up through the floor here, which I'm gonna caulk all that. I'm just duct taping it down for now, and then I'm gonna put foam and plywood over that. So I already have live power in here. On this, I used the deep boxes, and then went to the far part out, and then screwed those in. So I do have holes through there, which once again, I'm gonna cut the screws off, put caulking or silicone over them, and then paint the outside of the container. And then for the other cord that I have coming in here is for these lights So this will be the last light in here, and then if you come all the way down to this one, so I did 4 lights on the ceiling, and then this is where my power comes in here at the bottom. Then I have it running up to here. So your power is gonna go straight to a light switch, and then out of that, it's gonna go to my plugs, which I power, and so when I come in here, I'll hit a light switch, and then I'll be able to turn all the lights on right as I come in the door. And right here, I'm gonna do some sliding glass doors for the entry here. All right, so I already ran the wire on the inside of the house when I did the build because I knew that these things were coming. So on this, I have, to the shipping container, I also ran all the breakers and wires to the guest house, and the plumbing and all that is already done. So you did that ahead of time. But on that, all you need is, you can use 15, but I always use 20 amp breakers. And then I just ran, here is my 30 amp single pull for the mini split. That's all you need is a single amp. So this is just a 120 also. And then 2 of these, this is one of them right here. That's the one that I already have turned on. And then 2 of these also go to the man cave toy container, whatever you want to call it. Let me show you on the other panel, which I have an exterior panel that backs to this one with some extra room. So I'll show you the basics how to hook one of those. All right, so when I did my house, I did an interior and an exterior panel. Of course, your exterior has to have a meter in it, but I went ahead and got one that has extra room for extra breakers in case I want to add like a car charger or something. I can just put it right out here. I also did a surge protector on here. I'm going to walk you through on that because wiring is basically about the same. So for yours, this is a double pull, even though it has 1 pull on it. You don't need anything like this. You'll just need a 30 amp single pull for your mini split, and then you'll need 2 20 amp just for your lights and whatever else that you want to run, or as many plugs that you want to do. But when you hook this up, it's not rocket science. Don't be afraid of electricity. It's not that difficult. You just run the black wire right to your breaker. Your white wire goes to your neutral bar, and your copper or green wire just goes to your ground bar. So it's really not that difficult, guys. Like, anybody can do this stuff. Anybody can do plumbing. Anybody can do electrical. Watch a YouTube video. Then I ran the wires into, like, when I did the house, I knew I was going to do it. So all I did, I just put some electrical PVC pipe underneath the slab, and then I ran them underground over to the containers. This container is going to be the tiny house, so I already have hot and cold running water to it. Those are live, those work. And then all my wires run down here, which I'm not an electrician, so if you go, don't run Romex through a tube, through underground. I don't give a shit. It will work just fine. I had the wire left over from the build, so that's what I went with. And then I already have the mini split hooked up to this one to keep my stuff cool. And then I just made a Home Depot run. I got 10 sheets of 3/8 plywood. That's just for the lid. And then I'll need another 10 sheets for each side plus the end. And then I also got 10 sheets of 1-inch thick foam for insulation. 1-inch thick is not the best. It's like an R value of 4, which isn't great. But then after the plywood, there's a little bit of a air gap here. And then after I do the siding on the outside, all of it together will probably equal about an R10, R11 is kind of what I'm hoping for. I would go thicker insulation. I could have got the whole thing spray foam for $1,500, which is about, I don't know, $600 more than what this is gonna cost me. It would be a lot better, but if they spray foamed it, it wouldn't be perfectly flat, and I'm attaching the plywood straight to the foam. On this foam, you just cut it to size, throw it up there. You can put a stick in it to hold it, and then you get this washer with that screw, and then just screw right through the shipping container. And one screw, if you cut the foam tight, will hold the whole thing up until you put the plywood up. Now I have to attempt to put one of these plywoods up. I got most of the foam up. I got the majority of the plywood up. Let me show you what I got going. So when I did the foam, I just screwed it right through, and then the plywood, I just used a metal, a self-tapping metal screw, and then screwed right through the plywood, right through the foam, right through the shipping container. So the screws are poking through the shipping container, but I'm gonna go on the other side, cut those off, seal the holes, and it will still be watertight. And then you can either put siding on the outside or not. And then down here, I ran the AC line for the mini split. I'm going through the hole, through the bottom, over to the side, and the outside unit will be right over there. And then I also got the power cord to go to the inside unit up here. So I'm going to plywood and foam finish this wall, and then that'll pretty much be it. All right, so for the top of the container, I cut all the screw heads off, flush, painted over them so they don't rust. And then I'll go ahead and put a layer of this Stay Cool on here and just lay that down. You can't leave it painted. This stuff, it's supposed to reflect about 30% of the heat. If it does or not, who knows, we'll see. But don't leave it painted. Definitely cover the roof. Look at the view from up here. Oh, priceless. So I went ahead and painted the whole container black. I might do siding or some kind of wood on it eventually, but for now it's just black. And how I attach the plywood on the inside, I just screwed all the way through the container, and then I'll cut these screws off and then paint over them. That's what I did on the rest of it, and you can't even tell. You just cut them off nice and flat. Built the deck. That's kind of a must to get in there. I always do this. I stain the wood before I put it together, and then after it's together, I'll do a second coat. But you got to do that because there's no way to get inside those cracks and all that. Picked up some French doors. Just grabbed these at Home Depot. Got a lock off of Amazon. On the power, this is my cord. This is my power cord coming in from the house. I just wired it up into this light switch box. You bring the power to the light switch. You connect all your powers, and then you pigtail it to the light switch. Once again, if you want to do your own electrical, there's a million videos on YouTube that will teach you how to do it. I wired my whole house just off of watching YouTube videos, so it's really not that difficult. Make all your connections in here, then the wire goes up over to this side. Got a light switch there, and then that will power down to that plug there. Put a keypad here. If there's a storm, because I'm in Florida, I'll just close the shipping container doors. They close right over this. Then it's nice and sealed up. Put a lock on here, and then coming in here. I got all the plywood done. All the plugs are in here. This one, I gotta go to Home Depot and buy one more switch. But then I'll have another switch here to this plug for LEDs, and over on this side I did it. I was gonna do one for both, but I figured it'd be better to have a switch for each side. Did a switch here, and that'll turn on that plug for the LEDs on this side. And now the shipping container, all the plywood is done. Didn't know if I should paint it, stain it, leave it. I think I'm gonna do a little like a wood trim detail around the top of it, kind of set it off a little bit, and then put boiled linseed oil on the wood, and then finish the slide on the exterior on that, on this wall. On the other side, I'm gonna insulate it, and then you wrap it with this house wrap. It's like a waterproof wrap. And then I got these boards, like a shiplap, to put on the outside of this. So it's coming together. Thought it was gonna be like a 2-week build. It's actually probably gonna take about 3 weeks. I'm doing a little bit more than I bargained for. So I'm gonna fill this wall with insulation, and then put that waterproof barrier over it, and then put the shiplap over it, and then oil it, and then that's basically it. So we got her done. Took about 3 weeks. So if you're gonna pay somebody to do this, plan on paying them about 3 weeks worth of pay. The going rate to pay somebody, if you're gonna go for it, just plan on, if he's illegal, $200 a day. If he's legal, $300 a day. So go ahead and put that in your budget. But here's the outside of it. I put that wood siding up, got a light, camera, all that. Put the doors in here, put the digital lock on it. And then you come inside. I already started putting it in the collection just for I'd have something for the video. This is the inside of it. I'm also going to do LED light strips on the bottom of the glass all the way down. I'm just going to continually add to it, you know, make it a little bit better, do some improvements. I'll give you a cost breakdown of it. This is the collection. This is why I didn't want to put this in the house. But it's 40 feet deep. I put a rubber mat down in case any of these action figures fall. We'll have a soft landing. Plus it's just nice and soft on your knees when you're down there setting up your action figures on the bottom level. But this is just the Marvel collection. My collection is way too big to fit in this thing. Like I said earlier in the video, this thing is 40 feet long, 9 feet tall, and 8 feet wide. And it's just wall to wall glass shelves. There's a little bit of the collection, which we will do a collection video later or in the next video. But this is just my Marvel stuff. I got the boxes geared up. That's going to be my DC stuff. I'll put that down here on the lower section. But here's a collection. The lighting is not that great for now, but it'll get good in time. Put a little desk here. Have a place to, you know, do reviews, set it up. Let's go ahead and give you a cost breakdown. And then just figure whatever you're going to do. So the container was $2,900. That was delivered. The footings for the container, you might not need much for that. My land was slanted, so that was between the wood and the cement. That was $500. The paint inside and outside, I get paint at cost, and that was $500. The plywood, just for the inside, was $800. The foam for the inside was $800. The electrical, got the wire on Facebook Marketplace, so I got a deal on that, and the breakers. So that was $300. The doors were $800. I went ahead and got French doors instead of sliding doors. The frame miscellaneous stuff was $400. And then the patio, the little deck that I did out there, that was another $300. So everything added up was $7,300 for the total container build. So if you're trying to do one of these things and build it into like a bar or a, I don't know, whatever your thing is. If you're a girl, like a sewing room, a plant room. If you're a guy, like have a bar, just have a fun place to hang out for you and your friends. That's about what you're looking at. So plan on about $7,300. And this is as cheap as you can go. This is not building interior walls. That's going directly to the metal. $7,300. And then to do the glass shelves and all this, which I've had these glass shelves from my old toy room, so I didn't have to buy them. The brackets I also had from my old toy room, so I didn't have to buy those either. And I did glass for a living, so I got glass for cost. If you can't get glass for cost, this is going to be really expensive. If you're going to do a toy room or something, shop around. I get it. Shelves are really expensive, really expensive. So the glass shelves, you're looking about $6,000 just for the glass, $5,000 just for the brackets. The action figure stands, I got a million of those things. Those are $6,000. The little bleachers that they stand on, like for the, you know, go gradual like this. So far, I mean, I've estimated that I'm probably going to spend about $5,000 for that. So total glass, so just the shelves and the stands and everything was $22,000. So everything added up, $29,300. Damn, that's a lot of money. Now when I look at this, I look at those numbers, and I understand why a lot of you guys don't have a toy room. I get it. It's really, really expensive. There's cheaper alternatives for shelves. I mean, this looks pretty cool. I like it. I got the mini split in down here. Those aren't real hard to do. You can get one of those things for about $500 on a Facebook Marketplace, and you can probably pay him an additional $500 to put it in. So worst case, you're looking at about $1,000 or something like that, but it keeps it nice and cool in here. Also put a little fan in here to keep the air moving, but this is it. Good luck, guys. If you have any questions, reach out, man. I'll help you get through it. Love you guys.